Well, for one thing, I think the state, over the last few years, we've made a lot of progress. I'm seeing a lot of our critical services throughout the state actually move to the cloud. I think the pandemic really kind of showed the value of the cloud services. I mean, it happened over and over again where we pretty much had to stand up systems overnight, to really get the data out to the public, support the governor as far as their decision-making ability and stuff. And I don't, with the old traditional infrastructure, that's something we couldn't have done. We couldn't have, procured equipment that quick, put things up. So, but I think there's still a bit of work to do. A lot of departments and state entities are kind of catching on, but I think there's still a lot of development of the knowledge and skills that are required to actually support these systems. So I've seen a lot of movement in these systems, but I'm still seeing a lot of dependencies upon the vendor community and stuff, and to actually support these systems as well too. And it's also like a cultural shift as well. Traditionally, you had developers come to the data center staff, the infrastructure staff, say, okay, I need a couple servers, just here you go, and they would take off and install their software. The model now is, a lot of developers are doing a lot of the work and everything, but you kind of have to become more integrated with infrastructure staff. They got to kind of work hand in hand and everything too. And we've got to remember, we need to build things a little bit differently as we move out stuff too. It is a little different technology out there. We don't have those network perimeters. Everything's safeguarded inside a data center. We're out there in these public data centers and stuff too. So with the security safeguards that are attached to those need to be thought through thoroughly too, and how the change management processes and everything. So it's really that integration of the developers and the infrastructure staff coming closer together, working together to support these systems. Be able to move faster and everything. So, and then actually take advantage of how the cloud actually operates. See a lot of customers and stuff, they just kind of pick it up out of the data center and they move it to the cloud, not really doing any re-architecture. The advantage of the cloud is really, like the auto-scaling, the containers and everything, be able to take advantage of those services to really increase the efficiency and performance of the systems, but also reducing the cost back to the departments as well too. I think there's still some maturity that needs to take place, but we're getting there. It's an evolution. And that's your timing's perfect on that question. Because right now we are seeing the effects of the silver tsunami. I know within the data center and CDT, we've had staff that's been there 20, 30 years and stuff, and we're seeing a lot of retirements this year, and probably even more so next year. Our challenge is replenishing those staff with the skill sets and stuff to continue moving forward. So I'm seeing like within certain branch areas and everything, I'm seeing multiple management and staff actually leaving, all within a close period of time, which is we got to minimize the impact to services and stuff and across the state. So the thing is, bringing in new staff, personnel, and everything. But there's opportunities there as well too, because there's different mindset and thinking behind that as well too. And we become so ingrained in the way we do things, throughout the state. We're very methodical how things are done, very rigid. But we bring in new thinkers and stuff. How can we work past that, step outside of the controls that have been placed, and move faster, mature our processes and stuff, improve on the current processes. So I think that there's opportunity there, but at the same time, we need to transition a lot of that knowledge and skill sets from the staff actually moving out of the state, retiring and stuff. So I think in the next few years, you're going to see a lot of different faces and stuff. I've already seen that. I feel, through the CDT, I don't feel like I've been there that long, but I feel like it seems like I'm the old timer now. So. But like I said, we're going to see more and more of that. We're going to see new people come in. And one of the nice things we're seeing now, too, is we're seeing more and more staff coming in from the private sector. It's like this is a little different way of doing things within the state, but, it's nice to bring those new, fresh minds to the state as well, too, as we move forward, into the future. Well, I tell you what excites me is, like everybody goes, I'm sure you're busy and everything, and we're always busy. But, looking back in retrospect, in comparison, through the pandemic, the wildfires and everything seems calm in comparison. And just the nightly phone calls, the weekends, the round the clock work. So it's kind of nice to be able to focus back on our core mission activities and stuff. Our shared services, how we improve services to the state, and just reduce our costs. Benefit the state. Focus in on the business needs throughout the state. So I'm kind of excited just to be able to get back to do what we're supposed to be doing, and not have to redirect all of our focus, off to some of these crises and stuff, and hopefully, I'll stay with my fingers crossed. I feel so grateful every day that I have staff that no matter what happens, I can pick up the phone call and I can reach people in the middle of the night. I can reach them on the weekends. I mean, they're not obligated to do so, by union rules. There's no extra pay or anything, attached to it, everything. But these guys pick up the phone because they're committed to public service and stuff. So we have the staff that supports, these state mission critical systems, because, in their heart, they feel like they're giving back to the community and stuff. So for me to call out one individual is very difficult. Throughout our organization, I feel grace that I have that support behind us.